We're all here because we recognize that this is the state of our planet today, and we all want to do something about it. So, we're part of a small work group in Belgium. It started from an MIT class we took during COVID. We did a project. We thought we were doing a project on eco-labels and how to demystify them. And after we interviewed 25 people, we realized our project and the solution was really around EcoScore credibility and simplicity. It wasn't really about labels. So we asked ourselves a different question. What if we, as people who buy stuff, what if we could champion our values around sustainability by voting with our wallets? But in order to do that, we needed to understand more about what we were buying and then put pressure on the people who make and sell products. So I am April.
And I'm Ben.
And together, we are indeed part of a small work group in Belgium. Ben and I represent industry, business, and we work with people from universities. And Bart and Sandra are we're the core four. And what we did was come up first with a concept based on user research, where we realized we needed an app because people needed to be able to look up food products wherever they were. It should be simple. It should be ranked. So I don't just want to know about that product. I want to know about similar things. Is this better? Is this worse? Where is it? There needed to be some key attributes. And here's where the credibility kicked in, right? Maybe you tell me that your CO2 footprint is X, but I find out you're actually shipping it from halfway around the world, or it's completely wrapped in plastic, or it's made with fossil fuels. Although you told me, yeah, but it's bio. Yeah? So
in order to test this out, we made a couple of demos actually with these different colleges and universities. And so we're just going to show you one of them to give you an idea what it, according to us, looks like when you say, okay, credible and simple and accessible. All right, so here we are with the demo. So we basically started off with the same idea as Open Food Facts with scanning products. And we also looked into just kind of recognizing the packaging instead, so you don't need to actually be scanning, and you might be just looking at a shelf. And so then once you actually find a product, we also look into favorite things. So this way people can really express their love on the one hand and also remember it for afterwards. And then when they look at the product, they kind of can immediately see it ranked with scores for each different product. And when you dive into it, you can actually see the score also broken down for each facet. And for the different facets, we have small explanations that explain why that product is getting that score. So this way you can really kind of drill down whenever you need to and learn more about the product and figure out why a particular one would be more interesting for you. And then we also provide basically background information for each product category about what actually is important for that category in terms of sustainability. So this way, people can really kind of quickly scan a product, look what it means for them, and immediately kind of move on with it, or dive deeper as much as they need to in order to actually get that credibility. And then for the scoring, what we actually did is that we ranked them really quite heavily. And the reason for that is we don't have an absolute score that tells you this is how eco-friendly that product is, but we were actually ranking it relatively with category, and this you can really kind of get a much better idea about what the best choices are because they actually are applying the best practices, or actually avoid the worst of the worst actually that you might actually find in the store. So that's it for the quick demo.
And then this past year, I really pushed students at one of the 3 universities we work with. They are applied sciences and technology. I said, as Ben mentioned, augmented reality, guys. Not everybody wants to scan using a barcode, and why can't they see the score for multiple things when they look at it? And I pushed, and it worked. So if we want to, the pushing and the project. So if you want to talk about that, we can certainly do it, but you know, more and more the technology for this kind of stuff is easier. It's right out of the box in some cases. So we think that could be very interesting here. So where we landed was this whole end-to-end modeling. It's not very easy. It's really not very easy. How do you build and scale something like that? Also, when it comes to the citizen science, right? How do you actually source all that information, and how do you moderate it, right? Because the best of intentions aside, not everybody knows everything. And then engagement. We talked about that a little bit this afternoon. How can you personalize it, gamify it, or incentivize it monetarily or in some other way? And we were really excited because we had been reading the Open Food Facts website for quite a while, and then we saw that this year they launched an app. And so our first question was, man, we were doing all this stuff over here. How can we help those guys? How can we work with them?
And so one of our ideas in that regard is to really help out with the user experience research and design. Because, yeah, we've heard that today a couple of times. A lot of people have been interviewing people. We've been doing that as well. But if you look at the research, what you find out is there's sometimes a big gap between, on the one hand, if you interview people, then tell you actually, okay, this is what is really important for me, but then actually when you observe them, which is at the top with classic usability testing, you might find out a completely different thing, because in the end, what people actually say that they're going to do and what they actually do can be quite different. And in the end, with those kind of research, you might find out, okay, what is important for people, but you don't necessarily know how important it is in terms of reach and audience. And that's where actually you move from qualitative into quantitative research, where you really start measuring it actually much more on a larger scale through surveys, for example, instead of interviews, or do actually like online analytics and A/B testing instead of usability testing. So there's a whole wide range actually of possibilities there to actually learn more and to actually dive deeper into what matters for people and actually inform your design going forward with that. And similar to that are similar like a range of techniques for analysis and design as well. But so this is something that we actually landed up as our next step. But I think we learned today that also for Open Food Facts, this is an interesting avenue to continue on as well.
Yeah, right. We talked about the eye tracking, so we can hook you up with a pretty good lab in one of the universities that we're working with. We do that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So effectively, we all want to do the same thing, right? I mean, we're running out of time. It's not such a rosy future unless we can really turn things around. And so we want to help. We'd love to help with UX. We would love to help maybe with connecting you to the universities that we're already doing projects with. You can see the stuff they've already done before, or maybe run some projects with them in the future. We're based in Brussels. We got a lot of friends in the European Union, the Commission, and in Parliament. And of course, I'm a pretty good salesperson. So this is the future we basically want to work towards, and we just want to help. So if there's any questions, you let us know. We'll talk your ears off about it. Thank you.